Here I am again, back with chapter 6 of Ask and It Is Given. And this chapter is called The Law of Attraction, the most powerful law in the universe. Now, if you want to attend on YouTube, I've posted the link in the chat, and you are most welcome to join me on YouTube. If you have any questions, just jump in and type out your question, and I should be able to get to it as soon as I can. Okay then, let's get started. Every thought vibrates. Every thought radiates a signal, and every thought attracts a matching signal back. Abraham uses this analogy time and time again about how when you turn on your radio and you tune into a station, you can only get that station that you tune into, and you will not receive a different station. Thoughts that we think about things that we want are like that as well. The thing that we want is on one vibrational frequency, and we are on another vibrational frequency, or hopefully we are on the same vibrational frequency. But you can think about it in the terms of the thing that you want is the radio station. In order to capture that radio station, you have to tune your frequency, and you tune your frequency on the emotional scale. It's as simple as that. We tune our energy on the emotional scale. And so what that means is, if the thing that you've given birth to, the desire that you've given birth to, if that is something that makes you happy, then it is transmitting a signal of happiness and joy. If you're not tuning in to that signal with your emotion, with your gut feel, with how you're feeling here and here, the thoughts that you're thinking here give birth to the feeling that you feel in your body, and this is the tuning mechanism. This is the tuner of the radio knob that helps us connect with this radio station. We are the ones who create the radio station by saying what we want. And then we are the ones who have to now tune into it with our tuner. How does our tuner work? Our tuner works based on our self-talk. Our self-talk is the mechanism that turns that tuning knob. So you can think happy thoughts, and if you think happy thoughts, you go up the emotional scale, and now you're in tune with this thing that you want. But if you're not feeling that way, so you're not feeling joy, you're feeling the absence of this thing that you want, which means you're feeling unhappy instead of happy. Now the thing that you want is sending out a signal over here. It is sending out a signal over here, but you're tuning in to a station that's down here. You're not up here, you're down here. And this vibrational frequency does not match this one. And this is what Abraham says is about closing the gap. You've got to close this gap. How do you close the gap? You can't go from here to here. That's what Abraham says. You can't jump. You can't jump from a negative vibration all the way to a positive vibration. You first have to go up the emotional scale. Now your tuner is tuning into the station, so you're going to get that thing that you gave birth to, the desire that you gave birth to. It's as simple as that, but it can be tricky. So what's going on? There are two things in this equation. One is the station, which is transmitting a frequency. And then here you are with your tuning knob. You tune your tuning knob and it captures the frequency, and now you and the music being transmitted on this station come together. Perfect. How does this relate to the things that we want? Well, the way it relates to the things that we want is when you define what you want, when you give birth to a desire, and let's say you're looking for a relationship. So you've given birth to this relationship, and that relationship is over here at a place of love and joy. That's the frequency of that thing that you've given birth to, because when you get it, you're going to be happy, right? So it's right over here, it's pulsing, and now this is like the radio station. It is sending out a signal. Really important distinction I'm making today. It has never been said this way before. This desire that you've given birth to is sending out a vibrational frequency, and it sends out the vibrational frequency of joy. Now here you are the tuner. You're the tuning knob. You have to tune in to this station of desire. If you don't tune in to this station, you're not going to meet up with the desire. So how do you do that? You do that with your tuning mechanism, and that tuning mechanism is the way you think your thoughts, because the way you think your thoughts is what gives birth to the emotions that you feel, and your emotions are the vibration that has to be in tune with the vibrational frequency of the desire that you gave birth to. That's it. So now let's look at this. Here's the thing that you gave birth to. It's sending out a signal of joy. And here you are tuning into the absence of this thing. I don't have it. Where is it? Who's going to bring it? Those are the thoughts you're thinking. And when you think thoughts like that, they don't create joy inside you. In fact, they create the absence of joy, right? So here you are, and you're trying to tune with these questions. Where is it? Why isn't it here? I've been asking for it so long. And you're tuning, but you're tuning into the wrong frequency. You have to find a way to go up to this frequency over here, the frequency of love and joy. And when you do that, now this station and you, the tuner, are on the same wavelength, and now you're going to meet. Now you're going to be able to get that thing that you want. That's simply put, that is how it works. It's a little bit tricky. It's a little bit tricky because we haven't learned to control this tuner properly. No one has taught us, and we didn't learn on our own. Some people do. There are a lot of people in the world who live perfectly happy lives without knowing what law of attraction is. And that is because they know how to use that tuner. And there are other folks, maybe like you, but certainly like me, who never learned to use their tuner. For whatever reason. We weren't paying attention, we weren't listening to the voice inside, we were paying attention more to the people outside in our environment than we were paying attention to the voice inside us. And that's okay, because it doesn't matter, because we can make that shift now. We can change all of that now. Okay, so let's move on. So the words that Abraham always says, that which is like unto itself is drawn, which means that similar frequencies draw on each other. And what that means is, just as you are pulling towards you the thing that you want, the thing or the radio station is also pulling you towards it. And this is really interesting, because if the thing that you want is pulling you, if you are not pulling towards it, if you're not going towards it, if you're going in the opposite direction from it, that's going to hurt, because it's literally like this elastic band that you want to go this way. The thing that you want is pulling you in this direction, but you're not going, because you're not tuning into it. You're tuning into the absence of it, which is on this side. It's on the opposite side. See how that stretches? And if I keep stretching it, it's going to break. And when it breaks, who gets hurt? I do. And this breaking point is what all depression is about. This breaking point of this elastic band is what all sickness is about. So we don't want to do this. No, we don't. We want it to be easy. How is it easy? If we just keep going there. See? That's easy because there's no resistance. What Abraham calls resistance, this is resistance. There's a pull, but you're not going. That's resistance, right? Okay, so we don't want to do that anymore. And my dog wants into the room, so I'm going to just get up for 30 seconds. I'll be back. So Abraham asks this really important question. To what are you giving your attention? To what are you giving your attention? If you're giving your attention to the thing that you've birthed, that desire that you birthed, that should make you feel good. But if birthing a desire makes you feel not good, that means that you have a habit of thought. You've got a habit of thought of always asking those questions. What questions are those? Well, those are the questions that say, where is it? When am I going to get it? Who's going to bring it to me? How can I make it happen? And you know what? This is not about making it happen, because making it happen involves work. And law of attraction is about ease and flow. Ease and flow. My favorite words. So whichever frequency you match is what you'll get. So here's the thing that I want to clarify. Soon as you give birth to a desire, which is also on this scale, so this is the emotional scale. When you give birth to a desire, it's over here. It's transmitting on a station, a radio signal over here, and that radio signal is about joy and love and having. But what happens is at the same time, you give birth to the other side of it as well, which is the absence of the thing that you want. And what I want to point out to you, and this is really, really interesting, you know the yin-yang symbol? That's what it's all about. What the yin-yang symbol tells us is that there are two sides to every desire, the having of it and the not having of it. Which one are you going to focus on? If you focus on this side, the not having of it, then all of this becomes dark. And if you focus on the having of it, then all of this becomes white. Isn't that interesting? So the thing is, if you tune in your tuner, the thoughts that you think and the emotions that you send out, you can tune, you have the choice. You can tune into the absence of what you want or the having of what you want. And so what you want is also on an emotional scale, and that is something new. That is taking thought before, beyond what it has been before, because it's never been said that this way. The thing that you want is also on an emotional scale, and I don't have another scale to use on this side, so I'm just going to grab a pen. Okay, so there are two emotional scales, the emotional scale of your desire and your emotional scale. What happens is they are like magnets, but they are like magnets that attract like vibrations. So if these two are like, they will attract. But if you're not thinking on the same frequency as the desire that you've given birth to, you might be attracting it from here. And so what's going to happen is you're going to keep attracting the lack of it. The two emotional scales have to match up with each other. Isn't that lovely? Isn't it good to know that these two emotional scales have to match up? The thing that you've given birth to, and this is where quantum physics comes in. For those of you who are interested, this is where quantum physics comes in, because quantum physics says that there are always two options. The cat is dead and alive at the same time. Sorry, dead and alive at the same time. The cat is dead and alive at the same time. The difference is from the observer. If the observer observes this end, then the observer sees the cat alive, and if the observer observes this end of the stick, the observer finds the cat dead. And that's how there's this field of all possibilities, but the possibilities that we end up manifesting are the ones that we are in tune with. Does that make sense? I think it's exciting to look at it that way, isn't it? It's wonderful to look at it that way. All right, so let's move along. All right, no questions at this time. Let's keep moving. All right, how can I know what I'm attracting? So Abraham gives us a really good way of determining whether or not we are attracting the having of what we want. And that is by what's already manifesting. Because if you're manifesting good things, if you're manifesting most of the things that you want, if you're feeling happy and satisfied inside, then you're over here. And if you're over here, you're going to keep attracting more and more and more of the things that you ask for. So that's one way of knowing. The second way of knowing what's coming is by how you feel. If you pay attention to the way you feel, you will always know what's going to come next. And maybe you're like me, because before I started my journey with Abraham, I didn't know the difference between what felt good and what felt bad. I used to think about, okay, I don't really feel anything. And the reason I didn't feel anything was because I had been suppressing my feelings for a very long time. So I had numbed myself. Nothing hurt me anymore, and nothing made me jump off the wall for joy either. So what I did was I did exercises to make me recreate feelings that I knew I had felt in the past. And I did that by bringing in extreme grief to the extent that I would be able to shed tears. Because you see, here's what I had done. I had always pushed my tears back. I had always gut them down. And so I had not cried in many years. So I had to actually do the exercises to take me back to a place where I could actually cry. I could feel so bad that tears came. And then I also did the exercise to play with balloons and blow bubbles to feel extreme joy. And when I did these exercises, that's when my emotional scale started working, and I started being able to tell where I was on the emotional scale. So the biggest fallacy that I find in my coaching practice when I'm trying to help people that I'm coaching along is that they don't know where they are on the emotional scale. And people think that they're happy, and they wonder why things are not happening. Because I'm happy, Zara, where's the stuff that I want? Well, no. Your definition of what happiness feels like is wonky. You have forgotten what true joy feels like. That's why you've accepted second best. And because of that, you spend a lot of time maybe over here. I don't know where exactly, but maybe over here. Most certainly not over here. Because the law of attraction is exact. It is precise. And if you were up here, you would be manifesting all the things that you want, and you would be feeling happy. There is no doubt about it. Okay? All right. So then Abraham says, and they actually are talking about the exercise of visualization. So when you visualize, that's what they're talking about. We kind of create a movie of having the thing that we want in our life. And when you watch that movie, it should make you happy. But the problem with most people is that they watch the movie, then they come out of it, and now they start looking for the thing. And every time you start looking for that thing that you want, it brings you down the emotional scale to a place of worry, doubt, frustration, or even despair. I've been asking for it for so long. Where is it? Why don't I have it? How come it's not here? But if we did do the visualization process in its purity, then here's what Abraham says about it. Pretend that it is already in your experience. Flow your thoughts towards the enjoyment of the experience. From many years of coaching, I know that for a lot of people, this is really hard to do. So in the Unlimited book, which is a 40-day workbook for accelerating law of attraction to work for you, I suggest that we don't do specific visualizations. I suggest that we do a very general visualization that basically tells the universe what we want without becoming specific about it. And you see, here's the thing. Whatever it is that you want it because you want to be happy. So why not just do a visualization about being happy? So what I say in this book is, you can create your own visualization, keep it simple, and focus on the feeling you want to feel as you experience the things you want. My visualization is simple. I see myself happy and energized with a simple thought that I am either thinking alone or sharing with someone. And that simple thought is, I feel so happy and blessed. My life is really, really good. I am happy where I am and reaching for more. And if you could just close your eyes for 30 seconds and see yourself saying those words and feeling satisfaction inside, I tell you that is the best visualization practice that you can do. Because what that means is, universe, bring me everything that I want, because all I want is to be happy. Okay, moving along. So this is where Abraham is actually introducing the concept of the emotional scale, because they're talking about a range of emotions. And now, by paying attention to the way you feel, you can easily know if you are giving your attention to your desire or if you are giving your attention to the absence of your desire. And that's all we need to do. That is all we need to know. You get what you think about, whether you want it or not. See, because it's about tuning in. So here I am. The station that I want to tune into is over here. But for the life of me, I can't find it. I keep tuning in to this music over here, and I really don't like this music. Well, guess what? That's all you're going to get, because that's what you're tuning into. If you want to get this station, you've got to go up your emotional scale and meet this thing that you want where it is, so that like attracts like. Okay? Okay, so then Abraham says, whatever you are thinking about is like planning a future event. So when you lay the vibrational foundation of what is going to happen next, you are literally planning, doing a vibrational plan. You're doing vibrational goal setting, and that is amazing. And it really, 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 really works. Okay. So the vibration of your being begins to reflect the vibration of that which you are giving your attention to. This is really interesting. If we keep tuning, if we keep looking for this channel over here, even if we capture it for a few seconds and we feel good about that desire that we gave birth to, with time, as we go here, we are going to stay longer. We're going to stay tuned in to the frequency of this station that we want for longer, and eventually we'll get to a place where this happens. And that's going to be amazing. And that's what Abraham is saying here. The more you think about it, the more you vibrate like it. The more you vibrate like it, the more of that which is like is attracted to you. And when you start understanding how all of this works, you will never again be able to blame anyone else for anything. You will never be able to blame big businesses and big pharma. You will never be able to blame your neighbor. You will never be able to blame your in-laws. You will never be able to blame anyone for anything that happens to you, because you start understanding that you have control on the vibration that you are sending out into the universe. And you are therefore never surprised by anything that happens. In fact, when something happens, the question is, oh, I created this? That means I must have been oblivious to the thoughts that I was thinking, meaning I wasn't really paying attention to the thoughts that I was thinking. So what should I do now? Well, it doesn't matter, because I can't control what's already happened, but I do control this moment. And I can start now by thinking thoughts that are positive. When you are aware of what you are thinking, then you are in a position to exercise absolute control over your experiences. So it's all about knowing vibrational differences. And Abraham gives two examples here. One is of financial abundance, and the other one is about your spouse. And what they say is, if your vibrational frequency is different from the thing that you're going to attract, then you can't attract it. Your desire for an improved financial condition cannot come to you if you often feel jealous of your neighbor's good fortune. An understanding of your vibrational nature will make it possible for you to easily, deliberately create your own reality. Once you become consciously at one with universal laws and gain an understanding of why things respond in the way that they do, you will never ever experience doubt or fear again, because you'll start understanding what you need to do. Soon as you feel just a tiny little bit of negative emotion, you know what to do. You know that your job is to find thoughts that take you up the emotional scale, because everything that you want is up there. You cannot desire something predominantly, focus on the absence of it, and then expect to receive it, because the vibrational frequency of its absence and the vibrational frequency of its presence are two very different vibrations. So in the end, what they say is, your desires and your beliefs must be a vibrational match in order for you to receive that which you desire. And once you discover how to do that, life becomes really, really easy. And then Abraham says, no matter what has caused your unique point of view to come about, it has come about. And it is, what they're going to say here is that it is important. The universe, you are important to the universe, just as important as universe is to you. The universe is important to us because it's universal forces that make the sun rise, that make the planet go around the sun. Universal forces are important to us, to our well-being, but we are also exactly in the same manner important to that which we call source. It's a symbiotic relationship. Okay? So in the end, Abraham says, rediscover the art of allowing your natural well-being. And that's what this book is all about. It is about being able to understand how the law of attraction works. And in this chapter, the most important thing that came out of this chapter is knowing that the thing that you want is also on an emotional scale, and it is also vibrating, and it also has two halves to the scale, and you also are on an emotional scale. And if you are on the lower half of the emotional scale, then you're going to attract the absence of what you want. So folks, I hope that this discussion was useful. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And if you did, please leave me a comment to let me know. I would really, really appreciate it. Do click on that like button, because YouTube likes that. And I like what YouTube likes. And help me promote my channel. Okay, take care guys. Bye for now.